Oh, welcome. Hello. Greetings. I am so hyped for tonight's episode. I say that every week, but this is a very special week because we have our home slice over here. One of the few second appearances on
Really?
Inspired Inc. Yeah, I think you're one of two that we brought back twice on the show. We have the CEO of CAF, Kasra Ghanbari. Dude, how are you? I'm so hyped to catch up, talk. There's so many things happening. You're doing so many cool things again.
Second appearance of Ant-Man. Here he is. I'm good, thank you. I'm good. We're the team is like completely busy right now. We'll probably talk about it. We have the original Art Expo OAX coming up February 20 to 22. And the stupidest thing we did, if you go to the website, oax.art, we put a countdown on there.
Ooh.
And I know every one of us idiots at CAF, we go to that site and we look at the countdown just to figure out how much anxiety we should have.
Yeah, I feel that. It's more for you guys to be under a deadline more than to let us know. It's just get that panic going sometimes.
Whose dumb idea was that? Ticker on the site.
Well, tell us about OAX. What's different this year? Is anything being switched up? Tell us about the event a little bit.
Yeah, where do I start? Bigger and better. Isn't that the American way? So we have a main show floor that's like 20,000 square foot that had most of the show the first 2 years. We expanded it a little bit the second year, but we were limited by all the 500 chairs and tables that we had to set up for our big auction and fundraiser event that happened Saturday night at OAX. But God bless the hotel, they built an outdoor pavilion. It's actually really beautiful.
Ooh.
And what that did is it freed up all that inside space. So now we have a second, like 19,000 square foot show floor. And I got the finished show floor plan just right here. I don't know why I'm pointing at it. I could just be pointing at my dog, right? But 58 10 by 10 foot exhibitor booths in this new show floor. So it's not like a small ad. It's like people are going to walk in, especially since we haven't talked about it very much, and they're going to be like, what just happened? So there's that. And we've added a lot more events, which is just stuff surrounding the show for people to do. So more Magic the Gathering, learn how to play, intermediate and advanced meetups. That's going to happen. We're doing some meetups at bars, a really cool local shop called Gods and Monsters. They're amazing. Look them up in Orlando. If you're anywhere near Orlando, make sure you go to them. We're going to have an event there probably Thursday night, even before anything starts. We're going to have both penthouses. There's 2 towers, both penthouses on the South Tower from Thursday to Sunday, pretty much from the show ending on, is just going to have Card Art Expo, our card related component of OAX. There's just going to be box breaks and artists up there and whatnot breaks and buy-ins, and it's going to be like 50 dudes just screaming and embarrassing themselves but not caring for like 5-6 hours a night. So that penthouse, they can make as much noise as they want and they can do stupid stuff and get away with it. So there's that. I mean, and then we added the Jack and Roz Kirby Awards, which I guess is probably burying the lead there. That's probably the biggest thing that we added. But for us as a team, expanding the show floor, bringing in more exhibitors, we're up over 60, and bringing way more artists. We're up to 90, I'll say 92.5 artists.
Wow.
Don't ask me about the 0.5.
They kind of blend in there. There's pieces that go into it.
Sometimes we round up, sometimes we round down. Yeah.
Dude, this is insane. And so like OAX is a totally different type of con. It's not your average Comic-Con that I think everyone's accustomed to. This is a literal art expo that has been like kind of handcrafted, and it stands out above anything else because it's all about the art. And you've found a way to kind of bring together independent artists and like bigger signed artists all kind of under a roof where there's no there's no clear separation between the two. And that's what we really do admire about OAX and how it's kind of laid out and what you're doing with it. Because a lot of cons you go to, you get the indie people over here, you get the big time artists over here, but you have them kind of shuffled together. This is part of your little indie revolution you've been a part of by recognizing them more. What are you trying to do, especially with OAX, your intentions with indie creators, to help uplift them aside from that?
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because one of my answers about what's new is we added the Animation Art Expo. A2X is part of it, so animation art will be there, and we added the Game Art Expo, GAX, at OAX. And if we're lucky, there'll be a special room in a gallery with pinball machines in it and translights and play fields and some original art in it. If not this year, next year. But the other big thing that we added was IC3, our Indie Comics Creator Con, IC3 at OAX. And we're as far as what you just said, thank you for saying it. The indie artists they're right there with the top, if you will, selling, top grossing, the most expensive commissions. You have to mow my lawn for 42 days straight to get one signature type artist. I'm looking right now. If anyone listening to this, go to oax.art, click the artist button, and you'll see like a little drop down menu that will filter those 90 plus artists, and you can select IC3. And I'm looking at these really pretty faces right now, and I'm going to count 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 37 artists. So what we did is we asked the artists and exhibitors to identify, do you do illustration work? Do you do comics work? Do you do card work? Do you do animation work? Do you do game work? Are you an indie artist? And if they primarily identified as an indie artist, we put them in IC3. A lot of them, of course, I knew were indie. We recruited them on purpose, right? But if you go there, you'll see a roster of 37 badasses. And you're talking about a show of 93 people. More than a third of them identify as indie artists.
Love that.
I mean, some of them you've never heard of, and some of them are Matt Wagner.
He's an indie artist. Yeah. No, it's true. He's in that realm.
He's a legend. He's an all-time legend. If Jaime, if you're listening, 2027 OAX, he's an indie artist. He's a legend. He's an all-timer. He's a Mount Rushmore, but he's an indie artist, or he considers himself one.
Yeah. And see, that's so positive as well, because you have those creators that also create a draw to other people. You know what I mean? They're going to draw in collectors who are then going to have more of a reason to go and view this indie realm, the up and comers, the people that all identify as indie. And I think that's super great, because too often it's just too separated. It's too smashed in the corner. It's too second part of mind. And that's the way a lot of conventions kind of run it. And that, I feel like that's a frustration for a lot of people. But OAX, by bringing it all together into one roof where it's like very equal, and like you guys can like kind of help everyone out. It's rare. It's super rare what CAF is doing for independent, from shows like this, and then IC3 later this year as well. Because it hasn't really been done in such a way that's prominent and effectful, and is utilizing bigger creators to draw attention to up and coming creators. It's typically just the new creators, just the big guys.
I don't have to explain this to you, but indie is such a broad term anyway, right? And then you need that local meetup group of creators. You need that like bookstore or comic book store meetup. You need that gymnasium show that's a 3-hour drive away. You need that indie show run by a nonprofit, a company that just puts as many nickels together as they can, and they put a show together. You need that like slightly like mid-sized show that accepts 1, 2, 5, 7 indie artists to Artist Alley. Maybe because the convention promoter, or you dated their daughter in high school, or whatever the reasons are. You need different kinds of shows, I'm not going to call them levels. They have different characteristics. They address different audiences. Some of them might have 50 people. Some of them might have 50,000 people. Some of the audiences might be a little bit more Bronze Age or Silver Age, comic centric or CGC graded. Some of them might be more Artist Alley centric. Like Heroes is a wonderful example of both, right? Some of them might be like a little bit more issue orientated or genre, like LGBTQ plus, or like completely like self-published, even down to like the methodologies that they use to hand staple their books, like how they printed their books, or if they printed American. There's probably a show for people that have only printed at American printers. I'm not, it's like it can get really specific, and they're all really, really, really important. But then it's also a really big country. So you might be lucky to have one of those nearby. Maybe if you live in Philly, you're really lucky. Maybe if you live in Oklahoma City, you got that one show or two, and you're clinging on to it. You know, all apologies to Oklahoma City, the great state of Oklahoma here, but it ain't Philadelphia when it comes to this kind of stuff. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
I'm going to bury myself if I keep going, right? So that's part of what our thinking is. You know, we can get into IC3 and its build out and all of that stuff. We wanted to add IC3 as a component of OAX. We don't want people to get intimidated by that idea of an original art show like OAX. There's stuff at every single price point. You can get a one-day ticket on Sunday for 1 hour from 2 to 3 p.m. There's a 1 hour free sketch and signature event from participating artists. And I was just talking to our team. We're going to have a minimum of 50 artists that have electively said, I want to be part of this. And for 1 hour on Sunday, they're going to be drawing sketches and providing signatures for free.
Oh, that's cool.
Can't beat that.
Yeah. Dude, that's epic. Oh man. So it's so inclusive. It's so elevating, and it's kind of, I love what you're saying, how every con does serve a purpose. We were just talking about that on another show. Where basically we're saying you got to curate your table to every con. Kind of like you shouldn't expect to shoot the same shot at every single convention. You're gonna miss a whole lot more. But if you know what the convention's about, expos, art shows, your zine fest versus your up and coming just like geekdom con or whatever, curating your table and your presentation to that is going to bolster sales. And I know it's a big thing you guys are about, is bolstering sales for creators. Even your virtual show that you guys just had, which is insane. And do you have what? You do that twice a year, of course, in May and November.
That's right. Comic Art Live, virtual art con, May and November on the Comic Art fan site, free to attend. Our attendance, man, I'm super proud. We put out, we always do a report after our shows, like a post-mortem report, right? We try to be transparent and say everything that happened. The attendance for it this year, I should know the number. I have the title, right? CEO. I got it here. 28,000 unique attendees. You know, people came back multiple times over the weekend, but 28,000 unique attendees. It was up 40%.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and there's a hall I there for indie creators. It's IC3. It's the hall for IC3, and more importantly, there it's 28,000. Out of those 28,000, you know, overwhelming majority of them are art collectors, which is who we want to bring to the indie scene as a way of just helping people out, getting them a little bit more revenue, finding patrons, finding people that support your artwork so that you can make the next book, then the next book, or the travel to the next show, or, you know, print a nicer banner at Comix Wellspring, whatever upgrade you think that you need that you're making decisions on. So yeah, I'm rambling on, but Comic Art Live Virtual Con May, November, you got it. It's part of IC3. Yeah.
And the Kirby Awards, how did that come about? Where this is probably the biggest thing about OAX this year. But how did this where did the idea come from?
Can I quote you on that?
Just as a full quote, I'd be honored.
I'm gonna tell Sardo to make a clip of that and play it to the team during one of our team meetings. I love that.
It's epic. It's the coolest thing. It's like, how does this not exist already? He's the king of comics. Where did the talks of creating an award come from? How did you work with the Kirby family in order to make it happen? And what does it represent?
Ooh. Okay. Cut me off here, brother, because, you know, it's been a long, windy road. I think Bill Cox, who is the chief content officer of Comic Art Fans, I think Bill got wind It's 2006, man. Okay. Around August, September of 2023, got wind from a contact that the Kirby family was considering taking solicitations or proposals for an award show or an award around Jack Kirby's name, image, likeness, all that stuff. Yeah. And we were told, very kindly told, about it, and told that there are already a few major players involved in it. And regardless of what you think of comic art fans, we're a tiny team that just we work like dogs. We have to be very, very careful about doing anything new at all. And of course, I just said, I want to do this. I don't care. I don't care that there's some bigger people involved. I'm going to put a proposal together. And I think I submitted the first proposal November 1st of 2023, believe it or not. And it was wild. I don't know. I don't know what came over me, but I decided that, but how do I put this, man? I don't even know where to begin with this. I didn't want a best of. I didn't want best penciler, inker, color, cover artist. There are plenty of awards out there, and a lot of them are great. Mm-hmm. I wanted to look at Jack Kirby and the life that he and Roz Kirby led, what they represented, the fact that he created like
everything.
Man, this is a guy who started in romance comics, and he did war comics, and he did Monster of the Month stuff, and then superhero, then galactic, and like cosmic, and like he did just stuff that no one had even dreamt of. And any one of those things would have been like a lifelong accomplishment for a creator. And it is totally wild. So a long time ago, I put an anthology together called Tome with an art collective that I was a part of, 44 Flood in Chicago. And the second volume of the anthology was themed Melancholia, the inspired Melancholia. It was this idea that it was this old idea from all the learned people that came a long time ago that we've forgotten about, this idea that it's not necessarily depression or melancholia, that it's a incubation sort of like state that creators go into, and they ponder and think about what they're going to do next. And they draw towards them all the sort of techniques and tools and skills that they know that they're going to need to learn in order to execute on this thing that's like burning inside of them, that's coming to the surface. And sometimes, especially to the outside world, that can just look like stagnation, depression, lethargy. And there's a lot to be said there if you explore it about misdiagnosis of people over the last 100 years related to, how industrialized society expect them to act from 9 to 5 p.m. Okay. Yeah. And that you go from this first phase to the next phase where you're learning all these techniques and tools, and you're basically actuating yourself into doing shit. And then you go to the next phase, the third phase, where you're actually doing it. You are enabled, you are armed, you are ready, you are so primed that the world doesn't even exist anymore. This is what I love about comic books to the millisecond that I die, maybe even post synapse dysfunction, right? Is paper, pen or pencil. This, no budget, no one can take that away from you. You can be in prison and figure out how to get that. You can live in an alley and you can figure out how to do that. And that's the thing just respect forever because of that. And then the thing is, long story made only medium length. Is that the term? Is that the phrase?
Yeah.
It's the last phase after you go through this is you basically, if you're willing, you go through the process again. So at the end, your reward for doing all that is not only getting this stuff out, it's like a form of resolution. It's not happiness or joy necessarily. It's you got this stuff out. Congratulations. Maybe the world sees it. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe you end up on MTV. Maybe you get invited to the parties. Maybe you sell 13 copies. We've all been there. But
Yeah.
the last stage is basically you see all the sort of, symbolically speaking, you see all of the possibilities, all the different ways, all the things, but all the potentialities of the world in front of you. You pick one, you go through the cycle again. Jack Kirby did that again and again and again and again, and few people have. So I thought, use that as a basis of an awards ceremony, an award system, a program, and come up with awards that are like symbolic of that process and the way that we used to understand how creation came forth. And so the way that I describe it is Jack and Roz Kirby offered the opportunity for us to do something like this. That's why they're so fundamental to it. And I put the proposal together to the family and to the Kirby Museum and Research Center, the nonprofit out of New Jersey and Boston. Tom Kraft, I got you. And they reviewed it, and they didn't, as I said, they didn't go running and screaming the other way saying, who's this freak? What are these strange ideas? They were genuinely interested in it. And then over the course of the next year, I started meeting the family members in person, and then started talking to them, refined it, got it approved. And then we just did the official signing at San Diego Comic-Con this last July, announced it at New York Comic-Con, and did a major update with all the sort of advisory boards, the voting committee, the guidelines and everything just before Christmas. Was it a month ago? Yeah, a month ago. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. And the first award ceremony will be at OAX the night of February 21st. Show ends at 5 o'clock. All the pizza, all the burgers, all the fries, and all the open bars come out at 5 o'clock until 8 o'clock. So you got 3 hours to get done. And at 5:30, the Kirby Awards start, probably run about 45 minutes. And right after that, we have this major art auction and fundraising event. It'll raise money for Comic Book Legal Defense Fund, the Hero Initiative, the Kirby Museum and Research Center, all three nonprofits, and a fourth nonprofit called Project Pinball. They actually place pinball machines in children's hospitals, especially oncology wards of children's hospitals. Yeah, those are the four beneficiaries of the fundraiser this year. Yeah.
How cool, dude! That's so cool. Epic. Like, that's just so epic, man. And it's mind blowing that something like this just hasn't really had the opportunity, and you got to jump on it, and you got to be part of your guys' legacy along with that. So, what do they win? What does the award consist of? Is it a really cool plaque? Is it envelope? Is it a statue? What are they getting for this?
You used the right word. It's a statue, but it's really a statue. No one's seen it yet. I haven't shown it to anybody yet. It's still being put together. I designed it in May and June, hoping that all of this would happen, and knowing that it was going to take a long time, and knowing that ideally we would still have it at OAX in February. It's a pretty drawn out process to make something. Okay, it's a sculpture. I'm going to slow down here and answer your damn question, right? But I designed it to be very related to all that gibbery Google weird stuff I just walked you through. It sort of ties into all of that, and I wanted it to be like substantial enough in presence and what it represented, how it looked, and how well it was done, how well it was sculpted and constructed and put together, so that it felt like an original sculpture, like an original piece of art. It's actually bronze. It'll have laser engraving in it. Each piece will be slightly different. It'll be, waxed down and treated and patinated, and with that laser engraving, there's no plaque, there's no nothing. It's your award. Sorry, kid, it's yours. And it's sort of meant to be like something that will never end up in the trash.
Love it.
And hopefully in the back of a lot of Zoom meeting calls, hey, there's my Kirby award. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be everywhere. I'd put that like in every profile picture I possibly could at that point. Dude, that's sick. And so it's one award. There's no other things that are going on with the Kirby Awards. It's just focused on that one basic achievement at that point, basically, right?
Yep, it's at OAX, and we expect. I think we're going to go over 1,000 people there this year. It'll be in that outdoor pavilion. I expect 800 people to be at the awards ceremony in this outdoor pavilion. We're trying to get like a really nice production in place. Knock on wood, almost done, almost in place. And there are 7 awards. There's 5 core awards. I can go through this. We can go 2 hours on this. So you tell me what you want to know. But there's 5 core awards and 2 legacy awards, which
Okay.
are basically they're like lifetime achievement like or equivalent type awards. So 7 total year one. Yep.
Cool. Oh, epic. Okay, that's gonna be a lot of fun. And so each one of them, you get the one mega bronze sculpture. And someone just asked in the chat, any hints, like a clue, it's up to you. You could reveal as much as you want. I'm okay with waiting.
Any hint at the sculpture? This is asked by Kikon-san.
Yeah.
Jeff Wedding. I just blew your cover, Jeff. Any hint at the sculpture? Do you know Albrecht Dürer's engraving from 1514 called Melancholia 1?
Everyone's
And then
Googling
he
that.
has Saint Jerome in his study. I think it might be the same year. Saint Jerome in his study and Melancholia 1, 2 in the art world, very famous engravings by Albrecht Dürer. There you go, brother. There's your hint. The lamest hint of all time. You're welcome.
I love that. Perfect. That's the
Oh,
clues
and
we
it's
need.
heavy.
There you go. What's the weight? Give us a weight. Can you throw us a weight?
Oh, I don't
10
know.
pounds?
It's
Oh,
too
it has to
heavy.
be weight.
It's actually the mold maker is a little delayed because the base is so heavy that it's trying to figure out a different technique for it to be not quite as heavy as it is right now. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's epic, man. That's so cool. Can't
You
wait.
know,
Can't wait
you're
for it.
coming to OAX, man. You'll see it, and then,
Yeah, I'll be
you
there.
sign like a double NDA. I might even like send you like an image of it.
I'm
Right?
down. I totally will. Yeah, 100%. Please.
Get our lawyers involved.
And so with everything that you've been doing over the last couple years with CAF, kind of building out these shows, expanding your reach, now creating an epic award to kind of help represent the company and everything as well. You guys have just been like dipping your feet in, I guess, like every year, every other year with something big that is being announced and that's
Thank you.
happening. But that's also due to the growth of just art being made right now. And the substantial amount of creators discovering a passion during COVID. We were talking a little bit about this right before the call, and I thought it was super fascinating because I had similar thoughts in a lot of ways of like the weird COVID boom of art that we got. Do you want to give me your thoughts on that? That we were you were kind of starting to explain right before we started the show.
Yeah, I think that we went through a collective experience with some really unique qualities, and it happened. It didn't happen in 1632. It didn't happen in 1850. It didn't even happen in, let's say, 1904. Man, forget about that. It didn't even happen in 1978 or 86. Think about how different the world is if you bring up images for those years, the best that you can. It happened in March of 2020. Like, talk about unexpected. You didn't think Galactus would reach down and push the pause button on the Earth, right? And I'm sure that there are lots of books that have been written on this, socioeconomics, political, all the creative, all the mental health related side, and there's probably new conditions that have been named after this. But fundamentally, there's no doubt that people had time that they'd never allotted to themselves, time that they were probably, sort of quiet or introspective time that they might have been running away running away from at any cost even. So there's a backlog of creativity, and a lot of that stuff got dropped, and the stuff that survived needed to survive. It had certain aspects to it, but I think that there was just a little bit, no matter how small, because on a collective basis, small still matters, focused, prioritization, what really matters. Life is really unpredictable. I want to live. I want to create. I want to communicate. Um, that social media and our computers and phones and virtual living got way out of control. And that being in person with someone for 10 minutes means more than what you're clinging on to online and just checking in to see how their dog is doing or whether their kid's birthday party had enough balloons and whatever, right? Because that stuff's important, don't get me wrong, but it can't replace being in person and connecting. I'll never forget growing up. It really affected me. This sounds almost, I don't know, it sounds silly, but to me it's not. My father said whenever someone flies into town, you always pick them up at the airport. And to me, I don't know, there's a guiding principle in that I took. I think we got some of that back in a very good way. Yeah. Creatively or whatever, we got to focus on a subject because, man, that's a crazy thing that happened to the world and to us collectively.
Yeah, it feels like, I was thinking about it recently, just like in terms of sales with CWS and production and how things kind of roll out. And looking at the last, 5, 6 years, you had COVID happen where we had a boom. We had a bunch of like you said, people got a chance to press pause and focus on a craft
Yeah.
and take a chance an opportunity they never had before to kind of make these comic book dreams come to life. And so from 2020 to probably like 2022 or so, things were just kind of we're kind of at home, we're remote working. Most of the world kind of slowed and just slowly came back as well.
And people picked up guitars again.
Yeah, dude, people like, we got bands out of it. We got more music out of it at some point too.
People started baking bread and having hobbies. People are like, I always wanted to draw. People are like, I have a story to tell.
Yep.
That I didn't even know was in there. And they made comics.
Yeah. And it was kind of crazy and really inspiring. People like Cosmic Lion, Eli, and everything he was putting together. That was such a remnant thing that just kept on hearing on the shows, was like, oh, Eli did this project and it, did blah, blah, blah. And now I got swooped in with these guys. And people started making these shorts and doing stuff like that. And then I guess 2022, 2024, we started having people go back to kind of office work. Stop remote working, and then some people kind of faltered off, and here you go from 25 to 26, and some people who survived going back to work, back into a day job, back into that ecosystem of everything, some of them fell off, but some of them did pull through. And I think the people that got to pull through and make some of these projects just keep on happening every year, every few months, dude, they're like the people that are at IC3 at OAX, and there or will be there in the next 2, 3, 4 years, because they're still they got the chance that people back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s, where you could kind of survive a little bit easier and have a chance to work on something outside of your day job. You can hang out in the offices of these publications and probably score a gig.
Have you looked at the rent in New York City lately? Compare 1977 to 2026.
Yeah, it's wild.
Almost like it's on purpose.
Yeah, 100% agree there. That the restrictions, I was just talking to it about it with like my girlfriend. I was like, it's insane that we have to work 5 days a week for this amount, and we're not really winding up on top of things like we should be. Like, the amount we're making now should be killer, but we're so exhausted and we're so kind of fried out that it doesn't make you don't really get a chance to be creative. You don't get a chance to do anything else besides like rest and recover. But if you don't rest and recover, it's hard to be creative. So you have to find that balance point of like, am I going to burn myself out on this engine? Or am I going to just kind of figure it out? And that's been hard for a lot of people, I feel. That work life, and especially people who have kids and families and extended stuff like that, that's rough. I have 3 cats. I'm very fortunate. But it's easier when you're in the industry for sure. But the people that are indie, that are actually doing the 9 to 5 and grinding, getting up every day, taking care of their families and going back and making comic book art, that's recognition beyond compare. I think, and it's insane that their passion lies there so deep that they still make the time and energy for it, and try to still be healthy at that point too. There's a lot to go in.
That's why so much of it is good,
because
it's not about I'm gonna use all the basic stuff that just It's so banal. It's a big word, banal. It's not about anatomy. It's, it's not about whether you have the best colorist. You don't have to be the best letterer. Like, my goodness, this is why indie comics are awesome. I'm not talking about a purity. I'm talking about like an intention, like a drive, like a desire coming out. And a lot of that has to do with obstacles and fighting, all the things in your life to do something and you caring enough to do it anyway. When you do that and you go through that and you have something to say, uh, that's a lot of people's definition of what actual beauty is, what actual
And
creation is.
that is art through and through. When you look at, big fan of like punk rock and like, early 2000s, like emo music and whatnot. And it's just like, you look at all of that, the passion that went into those bands and those shows and that movement that punk created, it's the equivalent to what these creators are doing in this time. There's almost no difference when it comes to just fighting with your way through the week to get to go to the show, to be able to be with a community, to try to find people that understand you, that it doesn't matter your skill set, you get the opportunity to do it. There's no one kind of gatekeeping anything either, and you could create
Yep.
your own label or publishing line. It's unique, and I think that's the craziest part, and that's one of the biggest effects of what happened with COVID. People realize you could just get up and do this stuff.
That you could
And
play.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
one of the big things.
And I mean, shows like OAX give you a variety of artwork. And that's the point of like Spilled Ink too, was like you get a variety of artwork
Mhm.
to show you that it doesn't all need to be, Tony Daniel and Jim Lee and all these, big time, Marvel DC creators. They have their talent, they have their spot, but you could have different flavors, and those flavors are great. And you should expand your
Absolutely.
palette.
We all know this too. It's just, we gravitate towards our center, or we're bombarded. We're bombarded with a lot of financially backed, um, best and brightest minds going into, marketing, and going into basically rewiring our brains and our behaviors. And it is it's an uphill battle, man. Like I don't want to talk out of turn here, man, but I can't imagine actually being raised, like having been like 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 12, 14 years old, like in this cesspool of directing my behavior and directing the way that I think. And if I'll call them, if I'm old now, I'll say that if the younger generations come through that, they're going to have a lot to say and they're going to make a big difference.
And that's gonna be a lot of art, which is super
A lot.
exciting in that sense too. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah,
such a
if you want to call it
bummer.
hopeful, yeah, but
Yeah.
they have a particular sort of fire that they've collectively had to go through, and if they get through it, there'll be casualties. But if they get through it, look out.
Mhm. It's and that's what's going to be interesting about the next, I guess, 5, probably like to 15, 20 years,
Yep.
is seeing what these newer generations kind of do right behind us, and how they take this art and take these crafts into their own, and how they utilize it and what they put together and what bands they form and what labels and
That's
creations they
funny
make.
because I usually look at music, film, and then I look at music first for those sort of changes. And there's so much genius out there right now. It's almost scary. And it's like the mutant gene for like musical talent has like the earth has been irradiated with it. It's unbelievable. And then I usually look at independent film because you get like these wildly interesting new perspectives and takes in a format where you can actually kind of absorb some of it without critiquing it. You can kind of take it in, and comics is always there, always there. Yeah.
And that's, for what you're producing and what you're putting on, I think you're just going to be creating a safer space for people to do that as well. I'm really excited to see what CAF does in the next 2 to 3 years, on what you guys kind of think of to kind of make that generation more inclusive, and bring them in and kind of holster them up. And I think that's the biggest thing, is just giving them the guidance and let them know that's capable. Just like all of us, when I look at certain the brands and distributions and the people that we're interviewing and making comics, I look at their age range and seeing who got to attempt doing this, and seeing the younger generations, I mean the early 20s start to emerge now, and starting to see some of those people start to poke their heads through. I'm curious what they're going to do, because a lot of us are in a certain bracket of what, 30s, 40s, even a lot of like 50s and whatnot, in our age range. So this early 20, probably 25 and below, and I forget Max Flowers is like just turning 25, that motherfucker. And so like that group has so much more flavor and variety than I think than what we're seeing right now too. Because a lot of us were mimicking image and
Sure.
that impact. And I'm curious what their impact was or is going to be to make them do something. Because I think they're all going to be doing something totally different from the Marvel DC method. I think that's going to slowly fade out. Which I guess, right, in a sense, I mean, not like forever fade out, but like it's all of those characters are getting close to being 100 years old.
Well,
So
put it
now,
this way, it's not the Old Testament anymore.
right,
It is breaking part. It is a method amongst many methods, where instead of it being like the dominant like genius methodology that everyone has to do. 100%. I'm here for it. Don't let me die something stupid the next 20 years, because I'd like to see it.
yeah, yeah, that new flavor, and that's what's exciting about it. It's always a new flavor, and we're probably going to hate it at first, because we're old, but we have to be, being creators and artists, we kind of accept things a lot easier than most aging people. So also, what you're doing with CAF, what we're happening here with generational stuff. What keeps you? What are you trying to do with yourself? How do you keep yourself healthy? How do you keep time for yourself? How do you try to keep to manage all this? Because as we're talking about mental health with creators and finding
Yeah.
work-life balance and doing all that, but you're running these shows, you're operating at a higher speed, you're creating these new initiatives. So what are you doing as like the CEO of all this to keep yourself going?
One is that I worked my whole life to be where I'm at right now, and I'm saying that in the most non-cliche way possible. These are like the prime years of my life where I still have energy, vitality, but I have experience. Like an MMA fighter or a boxer, they got like those 4 or 5 years where they're still young and they got experience. Right? I feel like this is the sweet spot, and this is what I want to be doing. And where I have gratitude and where I feel lucky is I have a situation where I have a leadership role where I'm essentially accountable to me. If I have a problem, well, this is what I wanted.
I feel that.
That's actually, to me, knowing who I am, that's a hell of an accomplishment. This is exactly where I wanted to be. I was always hesitant to take a CEO role. I've been pushed to it for a long time in other situations, didn't want to do it. I finally got the situation where it was right. How lucky am I? Now, that kind of feeling and approach can also set up you abusing yourself, because you set aside um, your health in many ways, being social, seeing friends, traveling, taking a break. You forget about all that. And for almost 3 years, I have. The difference is that I've gone through this a few times before, so at least I learned a little bit, incrementally maybe, but a little bit about how to help myself, and I did it communicating. I can't stress that enough. So, like Bill and I probably had the first 6 months that we worked together. We probably talked on average 2-3 hours a day. You're talking about just spilling out what you wish you could do, what hadn't been done, family stuff, dreams, failures, all the things that we could do, stuff that we see in the world, whatever, things that we like in the art world, whatever. I mean, we had 8, 9, 10 hour talks about this stuff. And I laid out all the things that I wanted to do. He laid out things that he wished that he'd been able to do with CAF before my joining with OAX. And 3 years later, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, I think Bill would say the same thing, that crucible of time where we just literally just projectile vomited as much stuff, insecurities, problems, people that we've met in the whatever, has served us every single day for 3 years and has sustained it and has always been there when we needed to fall back on it, because this stuff isn't easy. It is not easy at
Yeah.
all. So what I'm saying is that despite like being worn out or mental health or there having been really simple opportunities for me to stop, drop, and roll, and like, you know, maybe play the guitar more, or maybe create and or read a book, or uh, uh, play with my dog more, whatever it may be, spend more time in nature, whatever works for you. I did it open-eyed, and I did it sort of with an understanding that it was going to take 3 or 4 years to get to where we are now, which is exactly where I wanted us to be. So now what's interesting with you bringing that up is, and this is, some of this is specific to me, and I'd like to talk a little bit more generally about it, but I know that there's about another 2-year sprint phase coming up, and now I've got to decide whether to do it or not. I've literally been thinking about that basically day and night for the last 2 weeks, that I know that there's a 2-year thing. Am I going to commit to it? And I know I'm going to do it. So when I stop now and I get to think about this, because you prompted me to have this question, it allowed me to finally say, oh, well, make sure you factor in just a little bit of this, because I hadn't. Factor in just a little bit of this and a little bit of this and a little bit of this to take care of yourself, because you have to. You have to take care of yourself first. The problem there is you lose perspective on it, and you need someone around you oftentimes you need someone around you to just it's that fast. It's always like that. For me, it's been my dog.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
100%. No matter how much everyone wants to help me and whatever, it's always going to be my dog who lives now. That's just the beginning, right? And then from there, that dog is the most beautiful creature that I have ever met. That dog makes no sense. Dixie Donut.
Dude, yeah, honestly, having an animal like that is just it's crazy what they could do for you without other people realizing it, because it's so personal, and that like that attachment, that like that structure, they're like your backbone to everything. And they know like you can just turn around and you're just like, okay, no matter what, we're good, you're healthy, we're happy, we're here. And like you're going on walks with the dog and being able to like kind of take a break from everything and separate yourself with this loving creature, the best type of therapeutic thing you could have in the world. But you know, honestly, yeah, like avoiding burnout is probably one of the hardest things to do, especially when you're talking to so many people, trying to make deals, trying to find progress on things. Everything feels like it's under like a bomb, like a time bomb of some sort, and you feel that pressure and the deadlines, because it feels like
that you can address, though. That you can address that. You know, you're a partner, you're a party to feeling that way. It's not like this, like it's an objective thing where you could talk to other people about it, and you can get real echo chambery about people saying, yeah, you should be feeling that way. Yeah, you should be feeling that pressure. Yeah, I feel sorry for you. Is that really serving you? You have to look at, I'm an individual. This is how I'm reacting to these things. There ain't no good or bad about this stuff, because you can do things that other people can't do in spades. They can do things that you can't do in spades. Is one of the reasons why we're here together. It's one of the reasons why we have friends. It's why we work together. It's why we fall in love and build families and things. You have to look at your role in it and what affects you, and begin to deflect, disarm, massage, and move those sorts of things, because they're specific to you and it's okay. Then you can decide the degree to which you also want to address those things and the pace at which you want to do it. A lot of times we get to the point where we're so burned out that we're in a position of like, you know, if I drew a cartoon of you burned out, you'd be like a little like wavy little, you know, boneless creature who's supposed to like figure this all out because you're in a position of strength. No, you waited too long. But that's how you learn. It's okay to burn out, But if you continually burn out and you go, dude, I'm burned out, and that's about as much as you engage it, you didn't learn shit. If you do one thing that makes you have like a little tiny spark inside, it doesn't matter what it is. It could literally be shopping for a different type of coffee. There's no judgment with that stuff. Just follow that stuff. Don't underestimate it. And it's basically you have to figure out how to fill your well, and you need to figure out the things that are depleting your well and the degree to which you can do those things that deplete your well. That's actually part of being professional, because life ain't perfect and stuff's going to deplete your well, but you have to bring it to consciousness. Fancy way of putting it.
And honestly, that's such a big important thing, because I think a lot of people think of professionalism and they're just like, oh, I need to push myself. I need to push myself. I need to always show up. I need to always
Yeah,
be
it's the
there
modern
100%.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, no, I think we all need like a breather. We all need like, slow days and rough days and like good days. But like also kick ass when you can, like know how to focus and put your priorities when you're able to as well. But giving that, some days you only have 10%, and that's fine, but not
Yeah.
killing yourself because you're at that point either. And I think that guilt, like what you're saying, that anxiety, that pressure you put on yourself, it really just rids yourself of more pain and making it all more difficult. And you're not going to actually make movement. When you actually acknowledge it and take in rest, you're just like, oh, I'm actually recovered. I slept well. What do you know? It's kind of crazy. Like we put more pressure on ourselves individually, in our own heads. And I think everyone needs to hear that every so while too. I see so many creators, myself included, but where people are just like overloading hardcore, and they're
Totally.
just taking opportunities, and opportunities will always be there, but knowing how to manage those opportunities and when to say yes or no is so, so important. Because you could say yes to everything and then not get a quarter of it done of quality.
There's something there where I notice for myself that I will get about, I will increase the scope of something more and more and more, almost like I'm playing a mental game with myself. Like I'm not satisfied unless it's been conceptualized and made both vertical and horizontal as far as the eye can see. And then I have to get my arms all the way around it, and the energy that it takes to get to that point is impossible. And once I get there, I lose the motivation to finish it. We've all felt this for different stages and things, right? And I'll have a moment where I've got something. I use percentages to try to communicate it to different people. I'll get if 80% or 90 or 92 or 95, and then the cliches all settled in and all that. And there's a moment there where I will tell you, it doesn't matter what you feel. Finish it.
Yeah.
That is one of the hardest lessons. Doesn't matter. For 2 hours, you're going to sit at this seat. I don't care if you don't do anything. At least you're going to be sitting there for 2 hours, admitting to yourself that you can't finish it. And then it's okay, what's the solution for this? Phone a friend. Who wants to be a millionaire? Okay. Like literally have an 8-ball that gives you like 8 different things to do rather than doing the same thing over and over again. It's like one of the secrets of life is your personal hamster wheel, like literally destroying your own personal hamster wheel as quick as you can. And all of a sudden, time is your friend, karma is your friend, alignment is your friend. But at some point, you hit the wall, and when you finish something, I don't care who you are or whatever walk of life that you're in, when you finish something, it is a reward. It is really something, because you didn't realize the weight and the pressure of it, the preoccupation and what it was taking from you. So when you can, or when in doubt, if you're near the end of something, finish it first. If it's your laundry, if it's your dishes, I don't care. If it's sweeping the back porch, do it. Because it activates different parts of you.
How many things do you like, running everything as you do, like, and doing all these other extra things and actually maintaining yourself? What's an accomplishing day to you? What's in the mind of a CEO? how many tasks are you really trying to get done per
There is
day?
no such thing as an accomplished day. There's no such thing as like an objective measure of success. There is a very large level of constant dissatisfaction that you keep to yourself. There isn't a pretty answer to that.
Yeah, I feel that. Hey, we're talking. Um, Sebastian, dude.
I would listen to Sebastian. I wouldn't listen to me. So
This dude knocks stuff out. Yeah, he's a busy guy. Um, Dude, yeah, honestly, that's the thing about, maintaining and getting through productive days and being, having all these things in front of you, just knowing like, all right, well, I got one thing done today. That's killer. Or you have those times where it's like I got 12 things done and that's pretty safe. But your table's never going to be empty.
so
You're always going to have stuff on your plate. Like, and it's just more of just like, well, I've just chiseled it away. It's more chiseling. It's a giant art piece versus then tasks that are managed bit by bit, I think.
and be thankful for that. Otherwise, life would be dull. There are days where I make lists. There are days that I make lists as a really kind of self-critical, confrontational thing, not a positive thing.
Yeah, you kind of have to look at like the reality of what is in front of you and what's possible. Because I feel like when I do my list, my Monday list is actually my weekly list or maybe even my monthly list. Instead of trying to do all those things in whatever 9 hours, 12, depending what's on it overall, or it's just
That's
constant.
good. That's good and responsible. It sort of maybe you've raised your base, your foundation. It's not a solution, but it's a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen the TV series Deadwood?
I haven't. No,
It is
but I
the
know about it.
greatest thing ever made. Period. Period. End of story. TV and film, to me, it's the greatest thing ever made. Please watch it. It's on HBO. If you need the HBO login, I'll send it to you. If you'd rather have the DVDs, I'll send it to you. Happy birthday, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever.
Love that.
And there's a character called Calamity Jane in it.
Okay.
And listen to everything that she says, and you'll be fine.
Oh, I love that. That'll be my homework before
I shouldn't say that. It's not about you or me. It's literally just please listen to Calamity Jane. It took me the third time watching Deadwood to realize that she is the soul of that show, and probably if I had to guess the head writer's favorite character, she was magic. And some of what we're talking about, I think, is addressed by her throwaway lines.
Oh man, I gotta check that out. Yeah, no, that'll be my homework. That's pre-OAX. That'll be my homework. I'd love to check that out.
Man, I'm so jealous of you that you've never watched it. It's the best.
That's exciting. Whenever you're just like you show someone a new show and you're just like that first time, it's magical.
Oh my god!
Take it in. But well, dude, we've gone over. Gosh, IC3. We've talked about OAX. We've talked about managing balance. We've talked about just finding success in things. We've talked about the launch and the apparent boom of independent creators out there. Kirby Awards, and then just CAF is just taking over piece by piece, and I love it. It's one of those things where you guys are really doing a bigger service for creators, and I think the world is catching up to, and I think fans will be catching up to all of this more and more and realizing what you guys are doing and showcasing. And it's all these shows are going to get bigger. I know we didn't even talk about like a expanded IC3. We'll get to that probably once that gets closer to being announced and with more things happening with
I'm ready, man. I got news to break. Let's do that here.
Do you have info on that?
Huh?
What's going on? What about the national IC3? We'll wrap with that. Yeah, tell me about that aspect.
Are we wrapping already? Are you kicking me off? It's been an hour? Yeah. Are you serious? It's been an hour.
It's been an hour, yeah. But no, I want to know. Because I got to plan my year out too. So give me the calendar for my job. IC3, you're doing more than one show. This year it's going to be Providence in September. Nothing's been announced for tables or anything just yet. I had a few people inquire about that as well, but that's going to be exciting once that announcement goes out. Yeah. But where else are you guys targeting?
We launched IC3 as what we're just calling it like a national circuit or a national platform. We did that like towards the end of November. And did we do it in November? I don't even remember. What month is it? I don't even know anymore. And the idea is to build out IC3 shows all around the country, like homegrown ones, like the New Haven one, which is now going to be in Providence. And then we announced one in Jacksonville. And then the IC3 as a component of OAX. So at launch, we had those 3 sort of homegrown shows. Then virtual shows, which is our Comic Art Live show in May and November. We want indie creators to come on to comicartfans.com, try it out, post their art, solicit commissions, sell their art, get people to see what they're doing and get updated and follow their galleries. And as I like to tell indie creators, Instagram is not your friend. Comic Art Fans is your friend. When you post art there, you're talking about tens and tens of thousands of art collectors, art reps, dealers, all the eyeballs are on your art. Seed your art. Spend 6 months, post twice a week for 5 minutes, and you're good, right? And then try Comic Art Live out. I really appreciate the indie community has shown up and given that a shot. And then co-promoted shows was the third category, which people have been telling me the last 2 weeks out of nowhere seems like it's a kind of a novel idea. I find another show that has certain characteristics, location, good leadership, people that I like or know, and I figure out a way to combine an indie show with what they're already doing so that they're highly complementary. And my friends up in Jacksonville, Denny and Michael, ran First Coast Comic Con up there for I think 3 years, and it was a no-brainer to work with them. So we're now have joined our 2 shows together. July 11th is the show for the Jacksonville show, and there's a new fairgrounds that they opened like 15 minutes west of downtown Jacksonville. There's 40,000 square foot main show floor that we're dividing 2020 between the 2 shows, totally open between them. Single ticket entrance. We're going to co-promote it, co-market it, co-everything. And we just secured our headliners. God bless them. I wish I could say their names. But, Matt Sardo, who's showrunner of New Haven, which is now the Providence show, which is September 26th, he and I were talking. He's eager, to get people to be able to apply. And for now, I'm show running the Jacksonville show, but I have someone in mind to take it over. So we powwowed. I'm like, mine's in July, yours in September. What are you so nervous about? And it's because everyone wants to be able to apply and get this going, right? So we've decided Friday, July 30th, January 30th, Friday, January 30th. The applications are going out both for the Jacksonville show in July and the Providence show in September. So just go to ic3.art, sign up for the newsletter. You won't miss any news because we will tell you first. Okay.
Love it. That's sick. That's again, pinnacle information. That's so exciting. I can't wait to make a clip out of that and share it with everybody.
And we got a lot more shows in development. With any luck at all, there'll be plenty of announcements through, especially the second half of the year. Just let me get past OAX. Have me back on a third time. Bring some other people on with me, Sardo and Tatiana and some of the other people at OAX, and we'll talk, man. Because man, we're aggressively building it out nationally.
Love that, dude. That's going to be epic, and it's in demand by the creators. So, and the last
that's cool.
IC3 is the best, dude. I've had every 2 years I've been there. Epic, just be on Epic. It's the greatest time of the year. It is just Christmas for us creators. It's the funnest time ever. But dude, thank you. This is packed of info. This has been a great night. It's been a great convo. Kasra,
are you in Virginia?
Yeah. Winchester.
Where's our IC3 show in Virginia, Brandon?
I was gonna, once we close, I was gonna like I have an idea of
Roanoke
happening. Dude, Four Color Fantasies. Hit up Four Color. They're a great shop here. They're doing a 40th anniversary next year.
I saw you did a Batman sketch cover for fundraising with them.
Yeah, it didn't come out that great. I'm gonna redo it, but yeah, thank you.
Relax.
No, I'm self-conscious about that one. I'm still getting Batman's hard, dude. I just like can't get Batman down. That's my thing.
Yeah, for
he's
someone
hard.
who's self-conscious, you go on a 2-hour live stream with some killer artists and draw with them. If that's what you call self-conscious and you still do that, F you. Seriously, you're doing great. You're confronting your insecurities like in a real serious way by doing that. You'll be fine.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Whether I think so or not, you'll be fine.
No, it's a great time, and that's what makes that show so cool. Is that we had just had Ian Seco on there, we had Adam Lema and Eric Allred, and we have so many cool artists that come on that show every week. It's inspiring, and so at least I know I'm drawing for 2 hours. No matter how crazy my week was, I got to put that forward as well. So it's good discipline. It's been a lot of fun. We gotta get you on it sometime to draw with us. That'd be fun.
Oh man, now you got me. Yeah, you got me. I just turned into a little boy.
There we go.
I like that idea, though. I thank you for that. Yeah.
We'll wrap it there. Kasra, it's always a blast, and I'm going to see you in about a month. We'll be in communications over the next couple of weeks because we're working on stuff for OAX, so I'm hyped to be there. I might even spend an extra day and go to Universal or something. We'll find out.
You should. You got the new park too.
Yeah, exactly. I had a friend, actually, my artist for my book coming out in May, China Rosemaria. She worked on part of that park. She did one of the things in there. Yeah, she did some cool stuff over there. She's really rad. She's one of the best people I know. Phenomenal artist. That's why she's drawn my book. But yeah, super hyped for that. Fake Your Death coming out May, Kickstarter 2026. Anywho, that's it for tonight's show. Kasra, thank you so much. OAX in a month. We're taking a 2-week break from Inspired Inc. I'm getting a dental surgery done next Monday. I'm not going to be able to talk. So the following week, I think we have Alex Segura coming on the show. I swear, I'll show you a picture all busted up. But that's it. And you guys hit us up. We'll have the print shop coming out next week as well. This Thursday we have Spilled Ink, and it's with tons of creators. I can't recall off the top of my Eric Allred's going to be there. I know that for sure. And some great people. So thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for hanging out in the chat. And that's it. Kasra, thanks for hanging.
Ramble on.
Print your comics with Comix Wellspring.